what's up, world? You welcome to the JangoCast, and today we're gonna talking about why the English is very important in our day. My guest is Mr. Armando. You welcome to the JangoCast, and thank you to accept my invitation.
That's really a privilege for me to be here, because I would like to share the knowledge of how English is important.
Yeah.
Not only in a business language, not only in the business world, not only in a very our economic situations, but also in overview, all the sectors, all the points that we have to share. It is really nice to be here, and I really appreciate a lot to share with you my knowledge, my background regarding to this amazing language that is the most spoken language all over the world.
High five. It's really a pleasure to have you here.
That's definitely.
My first question is, who is Armando Paxe?
Well, Armando Paxe, I think it's a young professional, really calm, very creative, because when I usually have my daily routine here, I just like, when I look at the mirror at myself, I just see the reflection of this amazing, smart and brainy man. And this is something very important that I've been carrying out all of these years, because I do have a purpose, and behind a purpose, there is a reason of that. And also, that's why I do love a lot to when I see myself, the reflection of myself in the mirror just tells me about a wise man, a man that has a purpose and go behind this purpose. And this is something that it's my aura. It's something that it's internal.
Yeah.
And I just look forward to keep up this character, this attitude, and also this self-esteem. Though sometimes many people say, okay, you are very calm, and the most calm people, you know, the knowledge. You know that, and this is just a misunderstanding of their perception. But deep down, I am just a normal one. I'm just a person that looks for creativity and also going forward to about purchasing my purpose in this earth. And that's really nice.
You are really very calm, and I love that in you. Why is the English language considered a global language in today's world?
Well, that's a good question. And if you just look back in the day, I think back in the years, a couple of years ago, when you just look at the history of that, you know, we have potential countries, and one of these is just the USA, United States of America, and so England and French and so on. But one of the potential countries that is United States. I think if you see at the business world, most the common language they use, it's English, and that's why English is one of the most spoken language all over the world, because everything you go, maybe in the travel, maybe in the business world, you get in touch even when you're communicating with a lot of people over there, and then you see that it's English. Especially, let me give you an example about Germany. Germany, they just speak their local language, but they have English as ESL, English as a second language. Wow. And that's why they have this. And when someone goes there, even though they don't know their local language, but they have this option that to speak their English because it's a second language. That's why they communicate clearly and effectively. And this is why I think it is really, really important to have English as a key indicator for the success to communication, or to open the doors that are really closed.
My question is, how does English can benefit someone about getting a good job?
Look at the most international, multinational companies all over the world. I'm thinking about maybe the top sectors in FMCG. Why do I say FMCG? It's like a fast-moving consumer goods sector, and you will find like Unilever, you will find Nestle, you will find also Protect and Gamble. All of these companies, they do speak English. I think in their hiring process, they demand the candidate, one of the skills about it's like to have English. And it is like one of the requirements for an individual, for a candidate who is trying to apply for that specific role. And then even moving forward to tech companies, you will see, like, for example, Microsoft. It's one of the companies also that use it. And even moving also to education, you will find the top university, even the scholarships, even the also the programs that they have at the top universities, they require English. Why? Because it is very important, because it is very one of the business language that is most spoken within that specific sector.
Well, in your opinion, in what way is English important for international communication and diplomacy?
Looking international communication, I think, let me tell you one of the recent events that happened in I think in a couple of days ago. Our external external ministry was giving a speech in I think in UA department, in UA event, and he asked, "Is it fine to speak Portuguese?" And then, you know, they said no, it's only English and French. You know, I think I didn't guilt I didn't guilt him, because it was, and it's you have to be comfortable and in communicating, because it's like he's giving a speech. It's a very that document contains a lot of important information, and then while he is giving a speech, he must give it in a language that he feels comfortable to speak with. And then, but in that specific area, there was no translator. There was, in that specific moment, there was no translator, and that's why he had also to struggle himself to carry on speaking English, because there was no translator. And then in diplomacy, you will find the United Nations, it's demanded to speak English. You'll find it also in NATO is you have to speak English, because the communication, the number one language to communicate of that is English. And that's why it's important. If you are studying, for example, maybe a public relations, something like that, you have also to have English. You have to speak English, even fluently, because you're gonna find a lot of people out there who have English fluence at the high level, and then you have to struggle as hard as you can just to give that clear communication and to perceive or to understand or to figure out what exactly they are talking about. Because I've been saying that the key for success is communication. I think if you, even within in the business world, you may have a lot of skills, you know, and you may have a lot of background, but remember, you are reporting to someone that is in abroad, and it is demanded to report it in English. Whatever information you report it, even if you think it's good, but if you write wrong, they will understand it differently. And that's why it will bring all the perception on the other side. And it will just face you as, okay, you didn't really understand me. And that's why they will demand you also to give you maybe a too intensive crash course on English, so that you can improve your English fluency.
Your English is really amazing and clean. So,
thanks for that.
Where did you learn it, and for how long you speak?
Well, I studied English in the English school. I think it is, so I'm not just making an advertising, but that is the truth. But I've been speaking English since 2013, and it's really, it's about, maybe if I'm not mistaken, it's about 10 or 7 years if we count.
It's about 10 years.
10 years.
It's about 10 years.
And then what exactly I've been doing is just, you have to exercise. You have to speak every single day.
Even alone, you have to speak
in the
to
mirror,
yourself.
right? Surely, you have to speak to yourself, because If you want to get success in this most spoken language all over the world, you got to put an effort on it, because nothing will come if you just keep doing the same strategy. You will keep having the same result, and then you have to do different. Yeah. You have to put effort on it. Let me give you an example. For example, if you get into the gym, maybe you will see a lot of people that is outperformed. They have just their fitness very good, but you don't know what the sacrifice, what the hard working they've been done behind all of that. Yeah. And then when you get into the gym, when you start working out your muscles and your bones, and you start working out very hardly, in the first week, you're going to feel a lot of pain. Yeah. You feel that, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm feeling a lot of pain. But that's the process. Yeah. There is a time of seeding and there is a time of harvesting. And then you have to respect those processes. And then in the gym, that scenario, it's the same in English. But it's not a point to give up. It's a point that it really motivates me. Yeah. It means that I have to struggle much more. I have to strive as hard as I can to achieve, also to be at the same level they are. This is the point.
Yeah, that's really very good. How does the English impact access to education and academic results?
Nice question as well. Just have a wide look at top universities. Everyone here, maybe most Angolan people, have been struggling themselves to apply for international scholarships, or maybe a scholarship that are maybe in Japan, that are in abroad, in different countries like in Lisbon, and also that they require something very specific. English. They require language proficiency, and it's English. They require you to go to maybe to a certified center internationally, just to get that certificate that proves that you are an English speaker. Even no matter what the fluency, no matter what the level is, you have it's C1, A1, or maybe elementary, or advanced, or intermediate. There are a lot of categories that rates your fluency. And then this university as well, they just demand that for a specific candidate. Yeah. You may have a lot of skills, you may have your certificate, you may have amazing grades that you had in elementary school, or even in college. But if you fail in the fluency, you ruin all the process. And that's why most top universities in abroad, they demand candidates to take English proficiency test, and it's quite obvious. Look at that man. I think it is the chief executive officer of Pumango. I think even Nilson Machado, and then he went for a specific course, I think in Harvard University. You think it's English? They demanded that country speaks English, and that specific training, it's all about in English. Yeah. And also he had to learn that in English and to take advantage of that, because that's why he speaks English and fluently.
Why is the English the dominant language in technology and the internet?
Very nice question. And I'm going to give an example about AI, artificial intelligence. I love using it. Okay. And if you look at ChatGPT, and it was formed in the United States. Yeah. And I'm just whenever prompt you just write it. I think it will give you in English, unless you say, okay, translate it into Portuguese. My language is Portuguese. Because of what? Because even in the fintech companies, in most tech companies, they use English. If you want to work remotely for those amazing companies in technology like Microsoft and also like Dell technology, you must have English. Like NVIDIA, you must have English even in as a second language, of course, because our first language is Portuguese, but you have to learn English as a second language. And also to communicate, for the communication, because even if you are working at this technology company or tech companies, you will find a lot of people for different countries. And how will you communicate with them? Of course, it's through English. If you go let me give you, if you go to Bangladesh, I think even they have their local language, but while they're working in an environment where there are different nationalities, you will have to adapt according to the common language that is English for the easy communication and easy perception of the things, even in the documents or in the meetings or specific brochures that they are in that specific environment. You have to that.
Well, in nowadays, it's really very important to speak English. We are from Angola.
Yeah.
And here, to get a good job, you must speak English. So, what is your opinion about this situation? If you had an opportunity to change this, what would you do?
Well, I think, look, for example, if you want English, they demand English. If you go to over LinkedIn, you can see a lot of vacancies that are posted there. And you just get down to the requirements. They will, first of all, it will ask you your skills, technical abilities. If you have, they will check out your skills, even technical skills, and that if it matches with their requirements. And also, they will require, okay, in the language point, they will say, we need English proficiency.
Yeah.
That is. Unless it says, okay, English, it's mandatory, or it's one of the points that can get you out, that can get you out of that process. That is really, really dangerous. That means that you have to struggle yourself to learn the language and also to speak the language. And what I would do to change it, I think, as we are young, you see, this is most for the youth people, you know. We do have a lot of opportunities. Information is power, and today's information is on the palm of our hands. And if you just if you just get into the internet, even in the chat GPT, you can just text, you can just prompt a lot of things. You can just prompt anything. It will give you an answer. It will give you an answer of anything. And then why don't we spend much more our time on learning new skills and mastering ourselves on a certain abilities that will launch us, that will maybe improve our skills and will make us ready for the market, because the market is moving. And if you are just retrieving yourself by just getting stuck on the social media, just Facebook, you're going to get stuck. And while the evolution, we are in this world, and the technology is moving so fast, and the things are changing. I'm going to give you an example. For someone really wants to, he may say, okay, job is very difficult. I've applied for a lot of vacancies, but I didn't get any response. Okay, that's good. But look at your skills. What the company demands and that you don't have. You just have to design. You just have to plan, to put a strategy. You have to strategize a precise action, or to put an action plan of that skills that the company that doesn't match with the company requirements. You have to do that, because if you don't do that, you will keep doing the same thing and you will have the same result.
Well, what role does English play in international traveling and tourism?
It really plays an amazing big role. Why? And no matter if you get to the airport, and maybe you have some money, also if you have, or if you want to do an exchange, the currency for a dollar or something, or US cash or euro, you have to communicate in English. And I'm just talking about if you get to the airport of of Germany, you have to do that in English. And if you want to visit a lot of countries out there, you have the first language for the communication, it's English.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, you will be very limited. You will be so limited that
you have a lot of difficulty and you will spend a lot of money looking for someone to translate.
And we call this kind of thing like in our local language we can say micheiros, man.
Yeah.
They will be out there just they will be out there just to take a lot of money.
It means that it's really very important to speak in even just a bit. Right?
Sure. The communication is power. You have all of the tools to learn English, even at home, even at work.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, you have all the conditions to learn English. There is no excuse for I don't speak in English. I don't speak that specific language. There is no excuse. You have the communication. There are, even in a Play Store, there are a lot of apps, AI apps, that gives you an opportunity to speak English with the amazing resources of that. It's amazing tools that you can use as a part of that.
Yeah.
Then there is no excuse for maybe just saying, okay, I don't have job. That's because of that. My advice for all of young people, just get yourself occupied by learning new skills, by maybe also by learning, because education is power, information is power, and then to access this information today, it's much easier.
Yeah.
The internet you have on the phone, you may use the ChatGPT, and you may prompt a lot of things. Anything, you may prompt anything you want, it will give you an answer.
Yeah.
And that's why my advice for all of young people, just get yourself occupied by learning new skills, and while you are learning new skills, you're just preparing yourself for the market, because the market is moving. It's not stuck, it's moving. And that's why if you are training yourself, if you are maybe occupying yourself with the learning new skills, it means that you are preparing yourself for a specific opportunity that is coming over there.
How does learning English open opportunity for studying abroad?
This is obviously one of the important questions as well, and I've already mentioned that in my speech, because when you look at today's world, at today's we are in a revolutionary era, and then when you I think science is moving forward, technology is being revolutionized, and then you have also to adapt yourself according to the era we are living in. And then if you want to study abroad or to live abroad, specifically if you want to study in abroad, maybe for one of the top universities like Harvard University, you have to learn English, my friend. There is no how. You have to learn English. Even if you have...
Mr. Trump don't want to arrange to go there.
Well, I think it is Trump's policies, but if you just know, I think it's the aliens, the illegal aliens that is being naming for those who are illegal in that country. And if you are legal, if you are applying for a visa, maybe legally, I think there is no problem to studying over there. If you just fulfill every single process that specific university demands for all of the candidates, you will succeed. And there is one of the key element for that is just English proficiency. the language proficiency, because they understand that they will be bombarding you with a lot of information, and then there is no how.
Yeah.
They will be bombarding you with a lot of information, documents that have been studied for many years. It is in English, and they will be just giving you that information in English. That's why they demanded you to speak in English, to understand clearly that information, and you may use it in the future.
Give me 2 reasons why English is used as a common language in a multinational company.
First reason, you will get in touch with a lot of people from different countries.
Wow.
And then you must have to speak. You must to speak English for the easy process of understanding, of communication. Even, for example, even if you want to get in touch with your colleague who is working from Japan.
Yeah.
Japan speaks Japanese, and then do you think he will speak with you Japanese?
No.
Of course he did. But the most easy language that he will communicate with you, it's English, because English, it's a business language. Within the business world, English is a must. Yeah. And then that's why you will start communicating with English, in English, because maybe they have English as their second language, and for the communication, for maybe they receive a lot of people coming out from different countries. Also, for the easy communication, it's English, because you won't start in speaking like a Japanese, something like that. Of course, it will ruin all the process of the communication.
Yeah.
And the second one is just for the specific meetings, for the specific gatherings, for the specific, I would say, for the specific documents that are in that specific company. It's all about in English.
Yeah.
It's all written in English. And then you may say, okay, but I do not have a lot of proficiency by understanding that. Let me give an example. If you are in a meeting where there are EXCO community, when I say EXCO, it's like executive community. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of directors, executive directors on the table, and they demanded, okay, Joshua, just present something.
Yeah.
And then you have to present that. You have the document, and you have to present it in English. Because if you say, oh, it goes to this or that, then we will understand nothing about what you are saying.
Yeah.
But if you speak English, no matter it's poor English or it's rich English, no matter if the proficiency is very low, it's elementary, or it's maybe advanced, but you are struggling yourself to make it clear for everybody on that table.
Well, it means that English is really very important, and
sure,
it can make you lose a good word.
Yeah, it's not the key element, but it's one of the key elements for the because if you are applying for a certain position, even to perform a role on different companies, you must first of all, my advice for those of you who are trying to apply, even you use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing platform that you can find a lot of jobs over there. But first of all, this is what I'm saying over again, you have to prepare yourself for the market, because the market is moving, and if you are stuck in the time, you will be left behind. That's why you have to maybe to strategize yourself, to adapt yourself with this era. This era is revolutionized, and then you have to fulfilling yourself with the new skills, new approaches, and then you will get ready for the market. And then if you want to succeed also by applying to that jobs in that platform, you have first of all to read the requirements of that company, and then you have to study, you have to analyze yourself. Okay, do I have these requirements from give it a scale? For example, from 0 to 10, and which percentage or which number I am in versus the requirement they are asking for. And then you have to rate yourself, because that's why one of the many people, when they just check it out, one of the opportunities on LinkedIn, and they meet all the requirements, they just say, this job is mine because I do have all of the requirements that this company is asking for, and I'm going to apply. I'm going to just write a cover letter, well organized, and I'm going to send my resume. And then you're going to succeed because you have all the requirements that that company is asking for.
Well, what are you working with, and how did you get your work?
Well, I do love my job. I work as a trade marketing coordinator, and then I just found my job by applying on LinkedIn, because when I just saw that job post on LinkedIn, and I say, okay, I've done this over 5 years, and I do possess all of the requirements that this company is asking for. And then this job is mine. I just have that perception. And once I just send my application, 2 days later, the answer comes.
Okay.
Because I thought, it means that I had faith also, but I have the confidence in what I am good at. I am good in what I do. And then that's why when I come across with those opportunities, I never miss one. I just get, okay, I went there, I just go, this is mine.
Does they pay well?
That is a very secret smile, my friend. It is very secret.
No, you don't have to say how
I
much.
don't have. So I think it is a very good company. Very good company.
It's an international company?
Yeah, it's a multinational company.
Oh, good.
It is in 160 countries, and it has around 200 brands. Good. And it's a number one in the world, and we have gained a top employer across the world, and it's a very good company.
Hey, yo guys, it's really very important to use LinkedIn and speak English. As Mr. Armando here, get a good job because of English and because of LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, sure. So, because in English as well, and also my skills, because you have to get ready, you have to improve yourself.
That's why it's important to speak English.
Sure.
Because you gotta be able when the opportunity will come in.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I think there are a lot of people that lost a good opportunity just because of English. And after that,
exactly.
Yeah.
They may have that skills, they may have these technical skills that the company needs, but the companies would say, okay, unfortunately, we can advance with your process because of English, because you are going to deal with a lot of different people. Country. You are going to have a technical communication over there. Yeah. Let's suppose for for those of you who work in the oil and gas industry, I've lost an opportunity, not because of English. I've lost an opportunity because I did have all the skills, in communication skills like English, the language, and background of that specific role about I did have that. But one of the things is, another point here is that I have to point it out, is that technical skills of the product. Good. It is essential. I didn't know anything about that industry because they were specific products like mechanical things that I didn't know how it works. When a company comes to you, I want to hire you. Okay, you have the skills that I want. Whenever a company hires you, he's telling you the following: Joshua, I'm hiring you to tell me what I need to do to achieve 20% growth or revenue growth or net profit. Yeah. I'm hiring you for that. No company will hire you and the company will tell you what you have to do. No company. And that's why this is one of the important thing. If you are skilled worker, you can say, okay, I do have all the skills to fulfill this role. And then when you get hired over there, you have to strategize a long-term or short-term plan and put an action plan. You have to strategize all of that and put an action plan and put deadlines and put a tracker for that. To tell company, I know the specific pain points that you guys have. Mm-hmm. And across my experience, I know how to do that very well. So I'm going to strategize, I'm going to design a strategy, and I'm going to put action plan, and we have to invest in it. It will give you optimize the cost, we reduce the cost, and it will improve or maybe increase 20% growth in our revenue. The company will say, this is the right candidate that we have hired because he understood our problem and he designed a strategy and he put an action plan and he put a tracker for that. It's in progress, completed, on hold, or not started. It's a tracker that you have to track.
Amazing. Well, it's really, very good. What kind of advice would you give to someone that is learning English now?
So, my humble advice for those of you who really are struggling.
You may look into the camera.
My humble advice for those of you who are really struggling to learn this precious language is that please do not give up. Don't base on what the teacher is giving to you. Remember the 17, 20, and 10% strategy. This is crucial. Teacher will give you just 10% of that learning. You will learn with your teacher. 20% you have to learn with by researching and doing a lot of things like a practice or something else. But 70% you will learn with your own by practice. Practice makes perfect. And if you are learning English, my advice for you is that you use this strategy, 17, 20, and 10% strategy. Believe that. If you are doing the same, if you are applying the same strategy across these years, across these months, and you will have the same results. Change the strategy, you will have the different results. Thank you.
Well, I think that's all for today. Yeah. I'm really very happy to sit down with you. It was amazing listening to you.
I really appreciate it.
I think it's going to help so much a lot of people at home. Yeah. Thanks so much for accepting the invitation.
You're welcome.
You have something to say? Something?
Well, I just have to say that I mean, this is really opportunity for you are employing. I think you are empowering many young people for doing this. Yeah. And I believe that there are a lot of people with the same talent, with amazing skills, amazing talents that would like to have the opportunity to be here with you and also to share their experiences, their background with you, and they would like to I would say that they would like to inform the audience that they have also skills, that they have also something that is important to share with the audience. And you are giving this opportunity for these people. And then I believe that just keeping on doing that and keep it up, because you are doing amazing work as a photographer, and I do love a lot with what you have done, and you've grown a lot. I think a couple of years ago when you were in a class and I wasn't on the board teaching you, and then your English, of course, get improved, and that is nice.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure.
For those who don't know, Armando was one of my teacher, and was really amazing. Was good to be your student.
Sure.
I learned a lot with you, and I'm really very happy to know you.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome.
I think that's all, and together we are.
Sure.
Maybe next time we can sit down again to talk
Definitely,
about another thing.
I'm at your disposal.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah.